You know, like I said, the client took her $25K.
Yeah.
She flew down to Boston and bonded me out. Her dad was a federal agent. So in my paperwork, it said CIA 1, CIA 2. They didn't have to get on the stand.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real. Real life street stars. Know what time it is.
Now I'm gonna ask you this, right? Because you walk in as a woman, right? A beautiful woman. Do you feel like it was easier for you, or do you think a man could replicate the same action back in that same time frame?
No. It was easier for a woman to do it.
Right. And why do you think that is? It's just because nobody would suspect it right after
Nobody was suspected. You have to go in there with confident speaking knowledge as far as what you want. You can't go in there. Don't get me wrong. I was nervous times when I used to go in the candy store. I was extremely nervous, but I didn't let that stop me.
Right.
I still went in there and I needed cash advance off my Visa for $8,500 and wasn't turning around until I got it. The object of the game is to get to the phone. Once you get to the phone, it's golden.
Man. Now, you did end up making the Boston Globe, right? And they end up actually saying, I'm not going to say your name, but they did name another person in there. And they said, y'all used prepaid credit cards in May to steal from 2 jewelry stores, as well as other stores in Newburgh Street. And then basically that's how y'all got caught, basically. Can you detail when it all came crashing down, right? Because you have an interesting story on how you even got caught. Because my question was, you're going from jewelry store to jewelry store. At some point, does the feds not catch on to you? Does nobody catch on to that game? You know what I mean? If you're able to hit licks like this, at some point, somebody got to be like, hey, we're missing some money. We're getting a charge back. We're doing something. Like, nobody.
So they had you know how all states have an officer like you better be careful about.
Right.
Don't run into, I can't remember this officer name, but when I tell you like he was known in the Bay Area, what is this officer name? John, I can't remember this officer name, but T. Jones, that was his name. Baby, you better stay clear, T. Jones. Like he was that officer, he knew everything that was going on in the hood, but they couldn't understand like how was the transaction, how was the transactions transpiring? Like how was they getting this money?
Right.
How? Like, how is they going in here and getting this money off a prepaid card, a card that don't work, but you going in here and you getting this money? They couldn't understand this. So when we going inside the candy store, you know, we got we have our credit card, and
right.
You know, it's eyes in the sky. We already rememberizing the 1-800 number that is going to the co-conspirator.
Right.
So we looking down at the card. You know, it's eyes in the skies again. We looking down at the card, but we already dialing the 1-800 number. So they probably thinking it on the cameras. Well, they dialed the 1-800 number. Like, what's going on? Like,
right.
They calling the number on the back of the credit card.
Yeah.
And the lady on the phone is asking for our Visa merchant number. This all sounds sufficient.
Right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give this nice lady her $8,500, and she's gonna continue on with her day and leave out. I don't know. I can't even. When I even look back and think about it, I be thinking like, you gotta have some strong balls to go inside of bank after bank after bank, asking for this amount of money at such a young age. You have to have confidence. You have to go in there and know that this is your money and you coming out with your money. I never got turned down.
You know, it's so crazy. I used to work at Fry's Electronics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they actually used to let the people who steal get away the first time. Mm-hmm. And then they would put their face on the wall and offer a bounty. Because their whole thing was when you steal and get away with it, you get this level of confidence that you're going to be able to get away with it again. Was that what you feel like what it was? Because, you know, at some point, it's not even a thought in your mind that it's dangerous. It's like, oh, this is easy work. This is light work. We finna go in here and get these watches.
It was greed. I didn't think I was going to ever get caught. honestly, I really didn't think I would ever got caught.
And you may never have if it didn't come to this circumstance about this U-turn. Tell them about the U-turn.
If it didn't come to the circumstances, we was on our way to meet a client. This was my first time dealing with this client. And being that it was my first time dealing with this certain particular client, I wanted to have all the receipts and everything to show him that I wasn't trying to finesse him. I wasn't trying to get over on him.
Right.
Because he had put in an order for 2-carat single stone, single diamonds. I wasn't getting the diamonds in a ring. That was already,
Yeah.
I was getting single diamonds. So, he had wanted a 2-carat single diamond for his wife. I guess he was gonna put it in a ring. But anyways, so we were on our way to Lake Merritt to meet him, leaving from East Oakland.
Got you.
And we had drove by the bar station. The bar station is like Metro, like it's something that it's like a train that goes to one side to Oakland to Berkeley or whatever.
Yeah.
So we had was on our way there, and I made a legal U-turn, and the sheriff pulled me over. And when he pulled me over, he asked for my driver's license and my insurance. I gave him my driver's license and my insurance. I already knew. Me and my play sister, who used to go with me everywhere, she was in the car with me. I already knew it was over because I was on probation for an incident that occurred where one of my workers had went inside of a candy store, and the teller had called the 1-800 number back. The teller let the young lady get away with the money, but she still felt a suspicion on my worker, and she called the 1-800 number back. So they had ended up giving me probation for that. So I had a 3-way search clause. So he gets my license and registration. He comes back to the car. He says, "Miss So-and-so, we see that you have a 3-way search clause. We're going to have to search the car." Search the vehicle. Everything was in the car. I end up giving the stones to my play sister and the receipts to her. And that didn't help. They searched her too. Took everything. They ended up calling Boston while we was still there, while they were still searching the car.
Damn.
The sheriff. Yeah.
Damn. So y'all get arrested, right?
Mm-hmm. Well away from Boston. Let's clarify that.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you get arrested, right? What's the process now? Like you get locked up. You know, when these type of things go down, you know, there's always that when somebody got a gun in the car and I don't claim it and you don't claim it. It's like one of those type of things. So what happened in your case, like with you and the friend that was in the car? Did she end up telling on you, or what was the situation?
So not at that very moment she ended up telling him.
Got you.
Nothing happened. We was both, you know what you're getting yourself into. You know at one point in your life that this is not going to always be peaches and cream.
Right.
She was young when I met her. She was a stripper when I first met her. So she looked up to me. I was like a big sister to her.
Yeah.
But she was like my distraction. Like she was a pretty girl, like bad. She's still pretty to this day. Like she was big butt, little waist. She was really like my distraction. I was trying to figure out what can I use her for. Like I didn't want her going inside. She wasn't smart when it came to like, nobody was smart when it came to them diamonds. And I'm not boasting. I'm just saying like, you know, I take full responsibility for my actions. Like I wouldn't, all young girls, please don't try this at home. Please. Seriously. Or anybody in the game, please stop. But anyways, like I was saying, nobody took accountability for it. We went down. Got booked into North County Jail. They ended up contacting Boston. Boston had 30 to 60 days, I want to say, to extradite us back. We waited for it to get extradited back. We ended up getting extradited back. She got extradited first, but she was still dry like the whole time, like with me. She was very dry. So we ended up getting back to Boston. Her bail was $10,000 cash. Mine was $20,000 cash. And
right.
I think mine was so high because I was on probation in California.
Right.
And in Boston, you don't do the 10%. They want you to walk your money over to the magistrate.
And pay the whole thing?
And pay the whole thing. Wasn't no 10%, baby. You better have cash.
But this is just for bail, though, right?
This is just for bail. Boston is Commonwealth, by the way. So her bail was $10,000 cash and mine was $20,000 cash.
Right. But that should be light work, though, right? Because y'all moving. How much was y'all making? Y'all getting Jacob watches, man.
That was light work. Light work that I didn't have at the time.
Running through the money, huh?
Running through the money, taking care of everybody, like just being a free spirit Bella, like I used to be.
How much was you blowing through a week, would you say?
A week, I was going through like at least about 56,000 a week. I had a handbag problem. I love me a handbag. I love me a handbag.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it wasn't the stores wasn't cool for us to do APs in the stores.
Right.
We had to pay for our items.
That's
know?
correct.
Couldn't get everything free.
What would you say is the biggest purchase you made during that time when you just had all the bread?
My laundromat.
Okay. So you did that. Well, that's what's up. So
Yeah,
you
I did
invest in something. Okay.
And then my kid's father, his detail shop.
We tricking on them.
It ain't tricking if you had it.
Yeah, put us on in. Yeah.
So,
I got the laundry. Get your clothes clean and get your shit washed up. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Oh yeah.
So that's interesting. So you say you're man. So when you go in, what are the expectations for the man? Did you have expectations? Were y'all together? Like, what is the situation when you get locked up and now you're facing time and you have?
So he was in jail at that time.
Oh, so damn. So y'all were both.
But we wasn't together.
Got you.
We wasn't together. That's still my kid's father though.
That's what's up. So
He left me.
He left you while you were in jail?
No, I'm saying no. He left me when I was in the feds. Yeah, he left me when I went to the feds. But when I was in Boston, he can come up with a dollar. The
Wait,
client,
the nigga you bought a detail shop left you?
Hello.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. I say the same thing. I say the same thing then. And I say the same thing now. It's crazy.
Let me ask you this, and you got to keep it real. Did that change you at all?
Absolutely. It changed me as far as my trust. Like, my trust is bad. Like, but it didn't change my heart when it comes to my partner.
Right. So you can still love your partner the same way if he passes X amount of tests. I got you. I give a person a shirt off my back. Even with my man, I pour into my man before I pour into myself. And that's something that I deal with that I'm learning not to do. Right.
I need it equal. We need to be equally yoked. You pour into me like I pour into you.
Got to be reciprocated, yeah.
Got to be reciprocated.
Yeah. Then you just drain and you
Then
become
you
a leech.
just draining yourself. Like.
Yeah. So, give me the experience of when you're in prison. So she did eventually snitch on you, though, right?
What
was the circumstances that made her tell? Do you believe?
I believe it was an influence she had in her ear. So, ex-friend of mine, I had ended up teaching her the game, and she was actually the young lady who came and bombed me out in Boston. You know, like I said, the client took her $25K.
Yeah.
She flew down to Boston and bonded me out. Her dad was a federal agent. So in my paperwork, it said CIA 1, CIA 2. They didn't have to get on the stand.
How does that work? Like, that's the co-conspirator 1, co-conspirator 2 thing. So how does that work? Does the feds, you don't have to get on the stand to be a quote unquote rat?
You see the stuff that's going on child, let me not, but yeah, you don't. Confidential informer 1, confidential informer 2.
So, that's got to be heartbreaking, right? Because I'm sure that's somebody that you groomed, took care of, looked out for, and then they told on you. Do you
broke in my house, robbed me blind?
Oh wait, oh shit! She broke in your house after?
Both of them.
Oh wow, she broke in while you were in the feds.
No, while I was in the like the early stages of me still going back and forth to court.
Got you. Mm-hmm. Got you.
Both of them did.
What do you think that was from? Jealousy, envy, just
my
survival?
My mom told me, she used to tell me, my mom used to always tell me, like, those girls jealous of you, babe. And I already remember one, my 25th birthday. I had a 25th surprise birthday party.
Right.
And I had a cake, and the cake had all our picture on the cake. We used to call ourselves the cover girls.
Right.
So on one side of it, like the picture was like a whole picture of just us three. When I picked the cake up from Neldon's bakery, the cake was fine. When I get to the Claremont Hotel, the cake was cracked. I was on one side of the cake, and they was on another side of the cake. Not only was my mom telling me this, guys I was dating in was telling me how jealous these girls was, but me being, having a big heart, I looked over all the red flags. I always seen the good out of a person.
Right.
And that good got me to experience a lot of things in life to this day that I vow to never experience again. Trusting females.
That's crazy, man. Like, when you try to put somebody on and they turn your back on you, like, we always hear the men's side of getting snitched on. We rarely ever hear about the woman's side of getting snitched on. Like, is your first thing like vengeance? Like, I want to do something physically bad to her? Or is it just like, I get it, I understand? Like, what is your mindset when that happens?
Then my mindset was vengeance. But after being incarcerated for 84 months, I had time to think, ask God to give me, to open up my heart, to forgive them. It was tough.
Yeah.
It was real tough to know. And not only was it tough to know that my kid's father seen them in my stuff and asked me, he was like, you let so-and-so wear your runway Louis Vuitton bag? You let, absolutely not. And didn't take it. He allowed them to prance around Oakland in my clothes.
Damn.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move. Hey.